Welcome to the Ghost Collective.
Hello.
Hi.
The fourth episode in, I don't know how many episodes are in a season.
I thought you were about to say the fourth episode and I don't know how many episodes.
Well, there's 30 days in a month. It's like, 3 months in a season?
What are you talking about? Yeah, there's only 4 seasons, so 8.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think we should make a creepypasta in which there's a season that actually takes 5 months, but there's still only 12 months in a year. Does that make sense?
I feel like that's winter. I feel like winter will last way too long into spring.
Is this a monologue?
I don't know.
It's a monolith.
Speaking of monoliths, I got some monoliths coming up in my findings.
Your findings?
My findings.
Oh my god. So,
I'm joined here today with Jim
And George.
and Steve.
hello.
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 Who is who? We'll never know.
Figure it out.
I said hello after you said Steve.
Thine aren't privy to that information.
Todd Howard's rum's hitting me really hard.
Yeah, today we're drinking not just
Melted down Mike and Ike's.
Yeah, no,
Microwave.
we're drinking some rum, Nuka Cola dark rum.
It's a Nuka dark vintage.
Why Mike and Ike?
It just dropped.
Why are you eating Mike and Ike's while recording?
Because it's
This is
it
gonna be
rattles in the
awful.
box and makes it like...
You're going to go to interject and it's just going to be Mike and Ike mouth.
I don't need ASMR of Mike and Ike box jiggling around in the microphone.
A yellow It was a green one, too.
So how many creepy things do we got for the listeners today, George?
So I have a short story. Nothing too
On a tall
crazy.
tale?
Not a tall tale.
A short tale?
We'll just call it a George tale
A George tale?
because it's nice and short.
Oh, that's just sad.
That's kind of sad.
And
Well,
soft.
was it only sad when I say it, and it's just mean when you guys say it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No, it's just funny when
a
we say
Steve
it.
tale, that's just adorable. But
That's
a
soft.
But a George tale, that's sad.
That's just soft.
So what's your story?
Jim
here?
tail's just rough around the
The
edges.
Jim tale's
Well-
just creepy.
I'm gonna turn things up on their head.
It's like a duck
Steve.
tail.
You could start today.
What?
No. But you just said you had a short story for us.
That's my short story. The horror of making Steve start first.
the horror of being unprepared for this.
We've already went on a tangent about your tall, short tail.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna read it out then. Darkness in the rearview mirror. So this is a short story that someone had submitted online. What?
So it's my nickname.
The darkness in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
That sounds like creepy.
No,
Like
it's
a rape story.
It's a good thing. It's like someone pays me to surprise their friend with like a birthday gag or something.
Birthday
Just
gag.
at like 12 o'clock at night when they're driving home.
Edible flowers. How'd you know I was going to be on this road?
It's a really annoying job. I don't get a lot of tips.
Okay. Darkness in the rearview mirror. In the summer of 2013, I found myself driving home alone on Highway 902 from a party. It was almost midnight, and needless to say, it was pitch black. As was usual at night, I was on edge. I had the radio off and could hear nothing but the muffled roar of tires on the pavement and the dull hum of the engine. I stole a glance into the middle rearview mirror and saw nothing but darkness through the back window. Again, no radio. That just creeps me out. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but why don't you drive with no radio?
Maybe they were deep in thought.
Deep and
Maybe they were singing.
stupid.
You never just kind of drive around in silence.
Maybe it was
Just
painting.
Think
You
about
needed
anything,
silence.
Think about
You were
anything but driving. And then like 15 minutes later, you realize you haven't actually been paying attention to the road.
Yeah, I've been in those situations where I come to and I'm like, how did I just make it through the past 3
Oh.
traffic lights without dying?
I'm at work.
Yeah, I'm sitting at my desk.
There's 15 deer on the front of my car.
I know. Continuing. I know that I looked backwards and saw nothing. I'm sure of it. Just the seemingly endless blackness of the night. I remember it so clearly because not 10 seconds later, a car passed me to the left. Headlights on. I had one of those sudden adrenaline rushes, like when you think you see a person outside your bedroom window, when it's just a tree, or when you start awake at night when you have the feeling of falling. You know you're gonna get that when you like startle out of your skin because like you're just falling asleep.
Yeah, then
And
I
you-
embarrass myself.
Yeah, you jump out of your skin.
You like you
Hope no one
think-
noticed.
you have like a dream that you're tripping or something, and next thing you know, you're flying out of your own bed.
Yeah.
You actually think you tripped.
God, I hate that. 10 seconds earlier, nothing had been behind me. Suddenly, a car. I drove the rest of the way home shivering, knowing something was off. The next morning, I found 2 sets of scratches near the back of my van. One was on the left rear, and one was on the right rear. The car was pretty old. This could have been there for months, but that was the first time that I distinctly remember seeing them. In hindsight, there are 2 possibilities for what happened that night. Possibility 1, by some glitch in reality or something paranormal, this other car had somehow appeared behind me within 10 seconds of me checking my mirror, like some weird ghost crap or something. However, the second option is what makes my blood run cold whenever I consider it. It didn't even occur to me until months after the fact, but it makes me dread driving alone at night even more. Possibility 2, the car was normal. It had approached me from the rear and passed me to the left. However, something large and wide and as black as the night had been clinging to the rear of my car, obscuring my view through the window and leaving deep scratches on the sides. And I had inadvertently driven it home with me.
Okay, we're gonna have to do a ghost collective analysis on this one. 'Cause, so number one, where I'm calling this person's credibility into question. Number one, driving at night, right? When you see
And I'll just say, like, what?
what?
How are you calling credibility on a paranormal podcast?
We gotta investigate this. We're like the Warrens.
We're not
from,
the ghost investigators, we're the ghost collective. We collect ghost stories.
You unflinchingly accepted predatory street art, and you're just going on.
Well, the street art. The street art is
that makes
so-
more sense than something clinging to the back of a car.
Yeah,
The street art's so like
could have been a bear.
Lovecraftian that you can't really call question into it. Whereas
Whereas this thing grappling your
Okay,
car in
so
the middle of
when
the
there's
void.
a car in back of you, right? Especially if you're on like a back road or something like that. If like they have their brights on or whatever, you can see that crap through your side views.
What if it was big and hairy?
So even if there was something
His hair was
blocking
getting in front of you.
his rear view so completely that he couldn't see this headlight shining through and like little cracks of this thing's body,
So,
he'd see it in the side views. Or she, I don't know who's narrating this.
so he said it was a van.
A van.
Vans have a lot of blind spots.
Either way, I feel
Wait,
like
he
it's-
was driving a van?
Yeah, he
I
said that he
feel
was
like
driving a
at some
van. Yeah.
point you would see this other car. You would have a presence of this other car. Plus,
He left
What
out the
if-
part of the story where there was only like 2 windows in this van.
yeah.
Like,
So
in
if
the
there
front.
if there was something hanging off the back of his car, right? That other car would see it. Which I mean, I guess it's implied because the other car goes racing past him. But like, I feel like that would have happened way sooner in this exchange of cars. How long were they driving? We don't have enough information here. Is there a phone number we can call?
There was darkness in the rearview mirror because he never put the windows in the very back of the van. It was just like a solid door.
If you want to question along the
And if you-
legitimacy of
and
this,
if you
he
drove-
left his gamer tag. You can send him a message on
And if you
Xbox.
drove it home, wouldn't you have
Right,
seen
for
it
real?
when he got it?
No.
I don't know. I'm just
You
saying.
never know, man.
We want to have quality stories here. We
Are
wanna-
you saying this is not a quality story?
I thought it was pretty quality.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of questions here.
I can't wait to hear what you have.
Okay, so-
I can't
Yeah,
wait. To
I can't
shit
wait.
all over it.
Mine is like 100%.
his is the same story, but it's on the
Bulletproof.
front. The
Mine is
monster's
that
on the front
Sia
of the car.
song. Mine is that Sia song where she's titanium. That's Sia, right?
I don't know.
Ricochet, something something. I am titanium. Take your aim.
Jeff's just gonna pull something super boring.
But mine's interesting.
Okay.
Not boring, but something very factual and recent. He's gonna be like,
Facts and logic.
Yeah.
he's gonna be like,
Yeah.
do you know that R. Kelly peed on kids?
But like, I don't know. I don't know. And if you wrote this story, what was it called? A Darkness in the Mirror?
Rear view mirror.
Okay, so if you wrote this story, come at me, bro. I got some.
Do you want to go
questions.
next?
No, we have to hype up to mine now. I'm the final boss now.
You're the final boss.
Let's see your mountain of
All right. Well, I got a little bit of evidence to support mine. This took place in England in 1944.
Was it
So
the
basically,
original Brexit?
What was the original Brexit?
Well, World War II.
Is that when London lost all, or the UK lost all of its territories?
Well, let's just keep going. So basically, in 1943, the year before this occurred, it was discovered in Witchwood Hill,
Witchwood Hill.
which is a creepy name just starting off.
Wait, say it again. What is it? Witchwood?
Witchwood Hill.
Is this one of those weird British names where it has the hyphens between each word?
Excuse me.
Are you-
Witchbury Hill.
Are you sure it isn't like Witch at the Wood Hill?
Bury or Berry?
Bury. B-U-R-Y.
Witch
So
of
they used
the
to
Wood.
bury witches there.
I thought that was just America who did that.
Are you serious?
Did everyone burn witches?
Wow, you
Dude,
were.
it was like huge.
Okay.
That's where most of the witch burning occurred.
If you were a Lego on the ground in the middle of the night, yeah.
I just kick you to the side. I wouldn't step on you. Pathetic.
Go ahead.
Are you serious?
We're not the witch.
You want to talk
collective.
about facts and logic and what holds up and what doesn't? And
You don't even know. You think that only.
you don't even know what the
American
Inquisition is. The Spanish Inquisition happened in,
Was that
in
witches?
England.
I thought that was just like heretics they were looking for.
What do you think?
What do you think of witches?
I thought a witch was just like some git who didn't float or something like that. Or was it that they did float?
May I continue with the story?
You're
Go
the
ahead.
one that went on the witch tangent.
All right, so basically in 1943 in Witchbury, the skeletonized remains of a woman were discovered by 4 children inside of it says a witch elm, which I discovered is just a Scotch elm. It's like that's a tree.
Why'd you whisper that?
Were you like unsure about your knowledge of
Yeah.
trees? You could have called it like an elf hill.
I'm just trying to throw so
believe
much
it.
more detail in this story because of you now.
I'm glad I have you on
No,
your feet.
you're doing just fine, bud. Go ahead.
Doing
Thank
Don't
you.
worry. We can save our
Thank
angst for when Jim tells his story.
So basically, a skeleton was found in a tree by
Yeah.
these kids that were doing like bird watching or something, and they were trying.
One bird.
That's a weird looking bird.
Well, they were trying to climb this tree that was hollowed out on the inside, and then one of the kids looked down and they saw what they thought was an animal skull, and lo and behold, it was an entire human skeleton with
Oh,
like
Alma,
rings.
There's a
shattered-
whole human woman in here.
You are just alienated our entire English following, if
I
there
know,
ever was one.
We already got there when I talked about the witches.
Yeah.
Continue.
So he thought this was an animal skull, and then lo and behold, turns out it's an entire human skeleton with like rings and shattered like pieces of clothes and shoes, and it doesn't stop there.
Oh, good.
A year
But
later,
wait, there's more.
just random graffiti on this wall in the middle of Witchbury. It just says, "Who put Bella in the witch elm?" Which is
Bella.
weird because nobody knows who this person is. And this is the only clue to go off of, like identifying the person that was stuffed inside this tree was this random "Who put Bella in the witch elm" that was, scribbled on the side of a wall like a year later.
Oh, that is pretty creepy.
Right?
Got some tingles. Is there more?
No, that's pretty much it. But when the police checked the trunk of the tree, they found almost a complete skeleton. And then it was sent to forensic examination by Professor Webster, who established that it was a female that had been dead for at least 18 months before it was discovered.
I thought this was like ancient skeleton. Like,
So what they found in the mouth of the skeleton suggests that she died from suffocation. From the measurement of the trunk in which the body had been discovered, he has also deduced that she must have been placed there while still warm
ew.
after the killing, as she could not fit in the tree once rigor mortis had taken hold. So someone just killed this girl by strangling her and then instantly shoved her in this tree.
And then went to go graffiti.
18 months later, a bunch of bird nerds show up and they find this thing.
Bird nerds.
And then it's like a big, case in the local paper. And then somebody puts Bella in the witch elm.
Damn.
On the side of a tree a year afterwards. And that's the only clues. There's facial reconstruction led to nothing.
Facial reconstruction in 1944.
I think this occurred like farther in the future, but
so they're still wondering.
They're still
in the tree.
They still want to know who put Bella in the witch elm.
Is there like any like creepy stuff? Like, I mean, it's all creepy. Is there any like?
There's a bunch of theories surrounding it.
Like the kids return every year and hear like screaming in the woods or something.
I'm sure we can. Even though we're
let's set up a Patreon and
miles,
have people send us there.
Yeah, we're miles and miles away, but I guess we can just take this story from the local populace and just like add our own little spins to it, and that's kind of messed up. But yeah, we can say that there's like screaming still heard from inside the tree to this day.
Yeah, but for real, who's first?
No, there wouldn't be
reaction?
screaming.
Oh, yeah, she's something.
So
Her
there's
mouth
like
had stuff in it.
okay, so like
stuff in it. Yeah, she's chewing on a hot dog.
She was up there bird watching herself and eating a hot dog, and she started to choke and then fell in.
For real,
that's a solid theory. I mean, that's more than the local police have discovered for this thing. So,
yeah, because who stuffs a body into a tree? I feel like
that's a great place to hide it.
Isn't that the story of the headless horseman where he shoves all the heads inside that tree?
That's not a body though; it's a head.
Yeah, but he fits like
how many
50 heads in this tree.
How many heads is equated to one body?
Probably like
2.
Probably at least 8. I mean, whose body are we talking here?
5 if it's me, 10 if
do
it's
I
you.
out you to the general populace for your shortness, George?
In a Radio 4 program first broadcast in 2014, they suggested 2 possible victims. One possible victim was reported to the police in 1944 by a Birmingham prostitute. In the report, she stated that another prostitute called Bella, who worked on Hagley Street, had disappeared about 3 years previously. The name Bella, or Lou Bella, suggested the graffiti artist was probably aware of the identity of the victim or of the killer.
3 years is a long time to disappear, though.
Yeah.
And then just end up stuffed in a tree.
Well, there's been cases of people being like kidnapped and held
who
hostage.
even knows if the person who graffiti's even like related to the person? They could have just been like, yeah, her name was Bella. I'll write Bella.
All right, Jim, real quick, if you were murdered, where would you want your body to be stuffed?
Definitely not a witch. What was it called? A witch elm?
Witch elm, yeah.
I want at least maybe like a. Is hemlock a tree?
You don't have to stick to trees. You can say anything.
A blueberry bush.
I was gonna say,
No,
Chick-fil-A
I
dumpster.
decompose, right, and then I
Chick-fil-A
make the
dumpster.
bush stronger, and then like people can enjoy my blueberries.
That's disgusting, dude.
What do you want to do?
Whoa, these blueberries are rotting.
It doesn't have to be a nature
What do you-
thing.
Okay, I want to be fucking dumped in a dumpster. There we go.
I just said that. You can't
Now
take
you're just
that.
stealing his.
Okay, fine. A shoal. I want to be put on a shoal.
What's a shoal? Can I get the definition of a shoal?
It's like a knoll, except with an SH instead of a GM.
Oh, I thought that was like the foot things that you put in your shoes to make them
Dr. Shoal?
comfortable.
I want to be killed and
My feet
pushed
should
down
be
into.
comfy.
I mean,
Comfy
even just
foot.
real life right now, if I die, I just want to be chucked on a mountainside, so like, because the nature benefits from it. Like a bird gets a nice meal or something.
I want to be dropped into a
What do you
gorilla's
get,
pen.
What do you get in the ground?
just let them go.
Bunch of worms.
In a gorilla pen?
Yeah, kind of like that kid that killed Harambe.
Oh, this
Except
is
for
a
you'd be
very
dead.
hot take right now, George.
Yeah, I know, I'd be dead. But let the gorillas have their fun this time.
But yeah, like,
Oh.
what do you get getting buried 6 feet in the ground? A bunch of worms fighting like 3 months later to get into your casket and eat you?
Is it 3 months?
May as well just expedite it. What do you want to get eaten by? Worms or like a snake?
Why would there be a snake in your blueberry bush?
What part of the world are you going to be dying?
This is a weird land you're coming from.
I'm finding a lot of loopholes.
So right now in New Jersey, there's a snake somewhere in New Jersey. There's a snake near a blueberry bush at this very second.
Big enough to eat you?
doesn't need to be big enough to eat me. You can just like nibble.
What? Just eat your blueberries?
Is there any more
You
about
just nibble.
Miss Bella,
No, that's.
Miss Bella the tree?
I mean, there's a few other theories, but I mean, well,
Is there like any like fan investigations? I know sometimes
this one says that it was more radical theory, and the fact that it was radical. Let me see. Margaret Murray, an anthropologist and archaeologist from the University of College London, proposed a more radical theory: witchcraft.
that's a radical theory.
Wow.
Witchcraft in
Okay.
Witchbury Hill.
Maybe in like the year like 1100, that would be like a radical idea.
Where the severed hand was consistent with a ritual called the Hand of Glory. After Bella had been killed by gypsies during an occult ritual, her ideas excited the local press and led the investigators to consult another seemingly ritualistic
We all know what you mean, Steve.
killing of a man, Charles Walton, in nearby Lower Quinton.
Wait, so has this town had like a gypsy problem before? Or is this just like
This was like the, you know,
just some English woman trying to like
you're like,
So wait, this was in the 40s?
yeah,
So this was in the middle of World War II?
1943.
I thought you said 44, dude.
Wasn't World War II still going on?
44.
When did... I thought it ended in 45. So yeah, it was in the middle of the war.
Once again, Ghost Collective, not the History Collective.
I mean, yeah, it did end in 45.
Yeah, but I mean, when did
It was the Nazis.
when did Hitler's? No, I feel that at some point, you know, like Britain got bombed. Why are we talking about this?
Okay, so
We were trying to get factual.
a bomb hit England,
Was Britain still being bombed at that point?
and the lady's body
At that
flew
point-
off the ground and then into this tree.
At that
that is
No.
what happened.
At
No,
that
they
point,
I will
actually
accept
loaded
nothing
the
up.
else.
Americans and the Brits were already, like, D-Day's already been executed. The Soviets are already pretty much at the Reichstag. Is Britain still being bombed at this point in the war? I genuinely don't know this.
I don't know. I think my theory now is the Germans were getting ready to bomb
It was a U-boat.
Britain.
I think it was a U-boat who did
No,
it.
they were getting ready to bomb
Yeah, a
Britain.
U-boat crawled out of the water and
Like those fish.
got its U-boat hands around this
Okay,
woman,
conspiracy theory time.
stuffed it in a tree.
Britain's soil only goes down 5 feet after it's just water.
I wanted to give my theory before you went into your...
That's why Britain grows the power so much, because it's just one giant ship.
Is there a
Recent.
movie about that?
Battleship London.
No,
I don't know.
it's like a crawling cities or something.
Or like-
Like all the kids are like sitting on this rock and they go, "It's London." It's just like this
Everyone
crawling
died,
nightmare.
London's coming.
What's that called?
Mortal Engines.
Oh yeah.
It just came out. What's your thing, George?
I was going to say, it was probably the Nazis were loading up bombs on their planes and they accidentally loaded up some poor girl thinking it was a bomb.
That's really morbid.
Dropped her out.
And then it landed perfectly
Really
in a
in a
hollowed out
tree.
tree trunk.
Hey, they've sure it landed in some poor kid's oatmeal or
I don't
something.
think
at
her,
one
I don't
point.
think
I
her
mean-
whole corpse would still. She wouldn't be warm still either.
How do you know? She was still alive when they dropped her.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the gypsy witchcraft with gypsy witchcraft
Damn
theory.
witchcraft.
That just seems like, you know, what your like racist uncle would say at Thanksgiving
Okay.
dinner. They'd be like, it's the gypsies.
I think in any big like happening, like in local populaces like that, there has to be that one theory that's just like it was the witches.
Yeah,
And you know what? They're probably all right. What if it
it's like
really
they're
is
all
always
just
the
sitting there analyzing the body and, you know, all these different factors, and there's just that one outlier
I got it.
that's just like
Witches.
gypsies.
Jesus.
Amazing.
All right, so what's your story, Mr. Big Man?
Mine is the best story ever.
Well,
My
already shit.
story- Which is a shame.
Not buying it.
It's not at first. So first off, it's not even a story. I went the easy route on this one. Just found an SCP.
Oh,
So
here we
this is SCP-2058.
Like SPP.
I don't think they have a nickname for it, which is a real shame. So
Oh, we
already
can
boring.
make one. We can make one right now.
Yeah. Wait, before we even know what it is.
SCP
The melting chair.
is a bipedal humanoid robot.
Oh,
Sounds like a melting chair to me.
So
A bipedal humanoid.
here's a
robot.
rendering.
That just means,
here's a rendering of it. It's got a
So-
human face.
A robot. A humanoid robot.
Robot.
Yeah, the bipedal thing kind of also goes along with
bipedal.
the humanoid things.
So,
Talk about
okay, so
redundancy.
this robot, it was found in
Very
it
tautological.
was found in a really like rusted up shipping container off the coast of Washington. That's Washington State, not Washington D.C.
I was going to ask that.
So this
Thanks.
robot has a retractable chest cavity that has like a bowl-shaped opening,
Yeah.
and it seems to like be compelled to seek out small objects and stick it in this chest cavity. So when it does this, like a stainless steel thing comes down and like envelops the object, and then the object disappears completely. And obviously, it's been tested on. The SCP Foundation's tried like putting trackers on these things and everything, but they just kind of peter out, disappear.
As they usually do.
And yeah, so it just kind of takes things and teleports them. It doesn't really have any rhyme or reason to it. And they have no clue what happens to it.
Does it talk?
Yeah, so the real fun part with this SCP, it also steals stuff. So, like, it doesn't just take it, it just steals
Kleptomaniac.
it discreetly. It tries to do it discreetly. Imagine if this thing just comes in and steals something and just teleports it. But yeah. Where is this section?
I think they need to send a person.
So this thing does communicate, but only in the form of life advice, which it offers up for small shiny objects, predominantly U.S. quarters. So you can pay this thing to give you crappy life advice.
That sounds like one of those stupid joke shop gimmicks.
This one seems scary. It seems kind of like wholesome. Like,
That's
I'd give it a quarter.
I don't know, there's some existential angst there. Like, what if it takes, like, your car keys and teleports them and then tells you, like, about your Aunt Kathy dying in her sleep or something?
No, it tells you if you drive to the store up the road, you'll win $1 million.
what if you just see it, like, crouched in the corner of your room, like,
This one's okay.
next to your thimble collection you spent your entire life collecting. It goes, don't smoke in bed, and it just disappears.
Go into town. This one, okay, so, like, girl in the window. Automatically know malicious intent here. Thing in your rearview mirror, you automatically know malicious intent. This robot, you just get a knocking on your door one day. You open your door, it's just this robot. What do you think? And then it just asks for car keys or something.
Quarters.
Just snatches your necklace off of your neck and puts it in its stomach and goes, "It's always good to make sure you wash your fruit before you eat it." And then just walks away. What are you going to be more scared of? That robot coming back.
I mean,
I don't want to interact with this robot.
I feel like I'd rather interact. I don't know. A robot that gives me life advice or a girl knocking on my window who wants to kill
that
me.
traumatizes you while you're sleeping.
Life advice is in quotation, so I don't think it's like anything good. It's probably like
Life advice.
if you look
I mean,
down,
it's just advice. You don't have to follow it.
If you breathe every day, you'll live. But does it tell you to give separate
So
life
apparently
advice
the
every time?
more often it gives you advice, it like adapts to your reaction. So if it tells you to like always like wash your feet twice or something, you go, that's kind of weird. It'll apparently switch it up to like wash your hands twice.
Oh, so it's not. It can't. It might not even be like.
This thing's literally just Google. Except instead of Google, so where's this robot consumes like objects? Google more so like
consumes information about you, so they can target ads at you.
It's just the opposite. Yeah, it throws things at you, and then you're the one giving it advice. I don't know. I thought this was interesting. Because, I mean, who doesn't want a friendly...
No, that is pretty interesting, but you said that, and the way you described them, I instantly thought of...
Chappie.
Chappie. Well, I thought of Apex.
Okay, so there's some dialogue here between it and...
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel like this would...
So, 1/14/2014, SCP-2058 told Dr. Prim, "You are getting fat. You could lose some weight. Have you thought about removing your legs and replacing them with cybernetic prostheses? Take it from me. They are fun." Oh, so it's kind of like macabre advice, I guess. Let's read some more.
Yeah.
5/11/2013. SCP-2058 asked without context, Is this the one with blood sacrifices? Okay, this thing's really creepy.
It doesn't mean he just donates blood.
If I
blood
was I'm not
sacrificing.
gonna lie, if I was an SCP agent and I knew this thing was contained, I'd probably go down and say it every day.
I'd have lunch with it.
Bring
Yeah,
it some quarters.
Yeah.
228,
Oh, unless you have fillings in
2012.
your teeth. What if it like rips your teeth out?
I don't think it's that malicious.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh.
That just horrified me. Why'd you have to say that?
SCP 2058 claimed
Nobody
babies
can
are
take it off
cheap,
you.
fast, plentiful, and fun to make. Why not put them to use instead of wasting valuable full-grown Class D personnel?
What? That's amazing.
Man got jokes. Yeah, is this advice or is everybody just construing it as advice when he's just trying to get like his stand-up gig going?
He's trying to make it. I'm trying to make it to the Joe Rogan
He got
show.
booted off his original planet, so he came here to see if humans liked his humor anymore.
Yeah, and we don't either, so everybody just locks him in a cell and throws shiny things at him.
6/22/2013, SCP-2058 informed Dr. Prim of the allegedly high likelihood of successfully embezzling Foundation funds for her own personal use. SCP-2058 then offered to feign a containment breach to allow for additional funding in containing the subject. So it's helping her, like, steal money. SCP-2058 demanded it be given at least 4% of the proceeds in turn. So yeah, so like the more
4%. That's not bad.
The more it interacts with you, like the more devious it gets, I guess. Good
Huh.
God.
Like
So
this
like
thing. Boston Dynamics need to step up their game.
so like 5 years just interacting with this thing. You walk in, it just has plans all over the
Sitting there smoking a cigarette.
This is how I plan to take over Europe. You should help me.
I like that. But
Yeah,
let's talk about
that's
the
cute.
legitimacy.
Yeah.
Come on, tear this fun little robot apart.
I can't, dude. I can't do it now.
Yeah, see?
You brought up something that wasn't scary, but
It's
something
cute.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't always just
Maybe want to have a child that's a robot.
remember, listeners at home. Just because we have the word ghost in our title does not mean we always delve into scary topics, like the Loveland Frog from episode 3. Yeah, that was last episode, right?
It was some time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I lost track.
Now, can you convince this robot? Can you, like, I guess, like, give him a little ruse? Can you, like, bring your arch enemy in the room and be like, he's got tinfoil in his body, and then just watch
Why are you
this?
trying to weaponize this robot so hard?
Yeah, right?
What do you see here?
Because there's got to be something. There's got to be a
Somebody sitting
deeper.
in your basement right
Hey,
now.
Mr.
There's
Robot.
gotta get this robot to work.
There's got to be a deeper layer.
Hey,
to this, man.
Mr. Robot, I got bottle caps behind this guy's eyes. Peel them out.
Exactly, dude. Like there has to be like a, there's something we're missing here. That's really just making
It's
this
like
super macabre.
It's like we all find the robot, right? Me and George give it some stuff, and it gives us this really great life advice. And then Steve walks up and gives it something. And it's just like, don't step on cockroaches. No, I want something good. Just let me have something good.
Make sure to eat 3 meals a day.
So keep Steve up at night. You see him like a week later, and his hair's all messy. He's like,
Tells you which stocks to invest in. And I just show up. It's just like, don't forget the floss.
I want it to be good advice.
Please. Please.
Just one good one, please. Just looks at you, unblinking eyes. The sky is blue.
Christ. Okay, so
Grabs my phone.
so
What you do?
we pretty much cruised through those pretty quick, but we've only reached the half-hour mark.
Yeah, we're getting too efficient. We need
So
some gimmicks.
too efficient. What are you tying around your hair?
I don't know, dude. I'm fidgeting. This is how I get peak performance.
Let the
I
man fidget.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to tell you about this nightmare that I had
Oh boy.
the other night. It had 2 parts, 2 separate things, and they
Oh,
were like
boy.
really short, but they like
Doofer
stuck with me.
McDoofer.
I'm gonna do for you.
Wait, was this one of those ones where like you wake up?
my mic.
Can you stop dropping them, please?
Why do you need to eat those right now?
Jeez.
What did you just drop? Anyways,
My
so
phone.
is this one of those ones where like you wake up, forget about it, go to get like a cup of water, drink, just pound that shit back, and then go back to sleep, and next thing you know, you're back in hellscape?
Not really, but I did wake up after the one going for and went for like water right away because I was dying of thirst.
Yeah, see?
So I guess I could say there was two and then one case where I woke up, and this might scare Steve. I had a dream that there was a spider that jumped on my back while I was like laying down, and I felt it, like all its legs pinch down on my spine. And when I woke up, that's why I felt that, and it woke me up, and I like thought something was grabbing me. It was horrible. But the one that the first one I wanted to get into was I had a dream about these aren't first person; they're in the perspective of someone else. For some reason, I wasn't having dreams about myself. It was like, you know, like I was dreaming a movie, basically, like a story of someone else's own story. But it was a situation where it was a dad who in order to save his daughter from some paranormal thing, he like offered his soul to the devil or whatever, and he got doomed to a life of being stuck in a room, laying down on his back, paralyzed, like sleep paralysis.
With a single spider on his back.
No, and he's looking up at the ceiling, and constantly staring at him is this white, blanked out like face. Kind of looks like the Babadook face.
Okay.
But it's this far away, and it's constantly just staring at him, and he has to live all of eternity. And I said this far away, like the people listening could tell, like 6 or 7 inches away from his face.
Is this the part where you start like becoming extremely lucid and you realize that this dude's daydream is your current life? That in this eternity of hell, he's like suffering some kind of like traumatic stress disorder where he's dreaming up this world so intensely, and this world is George. And we're really just a figment of your dream. That's actually reality.
Are you saying I'm dreaming right now? I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
trying to make you wake up, George.
I feel like I just get used to the face after a while.
Yeah, I felt like that too, but the face was like really horrible and kept like reminding him of things that could happen to his daughter.
Chinese water torture, where like they would vary up the like dropping. I don't know who they is in this sentence. I don't know if it actually is Chinese that would do this, but they were.
It was the United States government that did water torture.
Yeah, the quintessential Chinese water torture. It isn't just like, you know, a blop blop blop. It's like a blop 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 blop. Because so you can never like actually acclimate to it.
You never know.
Yeah, now that would be weird if you were just sitting forced there to lay down.
Face is just constantly doing different shit.
What if its nose was running in the whole time and it just kept dripping its nose on you?
Or you were just sitting.
Yeah.
You were just sitting there and the room was black.
It was a dark room, yeah.
Yeah, but then this face would appear and you would never know when it would appear.
So
Just completely catch you off guard.
I do remember some of the stuff in the room. Like, it was dark, but there was a wood floor, and it was like you know, like old English like cabinetry and stuff, like dressers and wardrobes and stuff like that. There was like shelves and stuff all around that were that style, all around the room. And then it was just dark.
A Victorian era nightmare.
It was like, I mean, it's scary enough that it stuck with me.
It's pretty unsettling, to be honest.
Was there like more to this first part, or?
No, there was, and I can't really remember it. And it was very. I have vivid.
So did he save his
dreams,
daughter, or did the
no, it was
or
just
whatever just go, haha, I got your soul, daughter's still screwed.
No, I guess it saved his daughter. I really don't remember. It was just one of those dreams I just don't remember.
We need the details, George. You need to go back.
I need to keep a dream journal because I always have weird freaking dreams. But there was another thing that I dreamt about where I was in the perspective of the
face.
Yeah, no one asked about the face. Like, he doesn't want to look at this horrified dude for all of eternity.
Yeah.
What if that's the face's punishment too, where like they're just both individuals that sold their souls, so now they're forced to look at each other. Thinking,
What if it's
and there's some sort of delusion where they think the other person
has
scary.
like malicious intent, whereas they're both just suffering this. There's an allegory there. Anyways.
What if it's just a mirror? He's looking at himself the whole time. But so the second one was so I guess because we were playing that game Pacify probably, but it was in the perspective of a doll, like creepy dolls like that were hunting people, and I guess it was like the way it went down was I was seeing through the eyes of one of many dolls that were running through this pitch black house, but for some reason I had like the doll had like night vision kind of thing.
Man, this is just Toy Story.
Yeah, well, but they're like running and like grabbing and like basically like wolves running through this house. Like it was horrible, but they end up in a room, and backed in a corner was like this dude like freaking out like.
What is your problem?
Damn, dude.
Because I'm telling you, I have
What is
some weird
wrong
messed up
with you?
dreams.
You got some real like.
So the
things
dude's-
unravel here.
The dude's backed up in the corner and freaking out, and it's like then the dolls get him, and that was it. I woke up as soon as the dolls got to him. But the way I thought of it is like if this were like a movie, like maybe that could be like the opening, leading to like you know how like movies start off with like it follows. It shows the girl in the beginning getting killed, and then it goes into the actual story.
Okay, see, not to go into. I hope that's your parents that just pulled up. Oh my god, what if we like record this episode and it's us getting murdered halfway through? I think that would be my final request is for our murderers just to like upload this, please. That would be so cool. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I'm so distracted now. That just distracted me.
What my parents pulling up.
George's freaky weird dream. Oh, okay. So it follows. That whole cold opening works because it establishes the monster. Whereas this, like,
Well, this would be establishing that the monster's the dolls.
the monster's the dolls all along. Wait, so who's the crackhead in the corner?
So who is Face?
That was just some dude that had already
Wait, so you were
suffered
the
a lot.
dolls in this scenario.
That's what I was saying. Is I was in the perspective of the dolls.
Jeez, George.
I know,
Can we
I
just
told
turn
you, I
this
had
into,
some-
like psychoanalysis collective.
Yeah.
Just tear George apart here.
I tell you, we could do a whole podcast on just dreams that I've had.
Jesus, I just dream about swimming in underground utopias.
Nah, so you guys were talking
Christ.
about the one podcast with the guardian angel, like waking up with things hanging over you, like all the time, always. I wake
You
up,
don't get a Viking, you just get a face.
I get a whole person standing over top of me. I get that all the time, though, to
Hey,
the point where it doesn't even
Could be
bother
your
me.
plague doctor. It wasn't you said witch doctor earlier. It was a plague doctor, by the way.
Isn't that the same thing?
Did I say no? Well, witch doctor's like
Witch doctor.
Oh, witch doctor.
Vastly different. Yeah, dude, you gotta talk to that thing. What if it's just trying to be nice and it just...
yeah. Are you able to talk?
What?
Are you able to talk to the thing?
What, when I wake up in the middle of the night?
Yeah. Or are you
Nah,
just, like,
it's
paralyzed
usually
where you can't.
when it was first happening, because it started happening when I was like 12 or something, and it freaked me out enough to the point where, no, I wouldn't want to try to talk to
Damn,
it. But
George, you know what that is? That's
I-
very soft.
I had a light switch directly above my bed. So usually when people suffer sleep paralysis, they can't move, but I could always move. So I would reach up and just hit the light switch, and it would, there was nothing there.
So is it really sleep paralysis if you can still move? 'Cause
Well, it's the same concept of it. I can move, but I'm seeing things. I'm still seeing things from within my dream in real life.
No, that happens to me all the time. It's just when I sleepwalk.
yeah, you were
Right,
telling me
it's-
about this on the car ride over where you woke up one day when we were camping and the entire campsite was on fire.
Yeah, but then I blinked and then nothing was on fire. I was like, this is weird.
I woke up one night and searched my whole room for a rabbit that didn't exist.
Yeah, you want to hear my story of me waking up and someone standing over me?
Steve?
It was Steve. We were camping in the middle of the woods and I woke up and he was just standing there mumbling to himself.
Damn, Steve.
Damn, Steve.
Yeah, Steve sleepwalks.
A lot.
We're like sleep creeps.
Yeah, we gotta find the artifacts. Because that could be used. That could be a whole topic in another episode.
Oh yeah, lay off the code red before you go to sleep. or
Yeah,
something.
really.
I haven't even drank any of it. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's all that Funhouse I watch.
That's what makes you dream of faces?
Well, it made me
People
dream
getting
of the
tortured for all
dolls.
eternity?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I swear I get some great movie ideas off my dreams sometimes too, and I just never utilize them.
Is this where this podcast came from? You dreamt we were talking about semi-creepy things? Oh, I think my foot's falling asleep. Anyways,
Who sits like that?
I do.
You're the only person I know that sits like that. It looks painful. He's like,
That's comfy.
he's got his,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining our.
yeah, thanks for joining in.
Ghost Collective. We're talking about your foot falling
like
asleep. This is over, pal.
Like a dream section or something.
That was the dream section.
You don't have any.
What's your
dreams,
foot?
Steve?
Your foot falling asleep and it's about to have its own
Do you even
sleep
get
paralysis.
dreams, or do you just kind of like wake up with your like face bloody and a bin of Legos?
Yeah, I just have surgery sleeps where like.
You do surgery on a grape.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't really get creepy dreams. I get like fun dreams that I don't think would be worth discussing here.
Yeah, you're right.
Skipping down a city block and you pet a horse.
Yeah, like I remember this
A
one
meadow.
dream. We were camping at like this week-long camp, me and Steve, and I had this dream that we were like flying on an eagle through the air. It was fun. It was wholesome. It wasn't a face stapled to the wall screaming at you or whatever.
So I just have dreams where people steal my skin. So
Okay, yeah, we don't. That doesn't.
I don't think people want to hear about my skin stealing dreams.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next one. We'll do the whole.
We'll just say that for never.
So yeah, I guess this has been the Ghost Collective.
Give me your skin.
Do you like this?
Exactly.
If you like the stories we discussed, is there anything you'd like us to discuss? Do you want us to do movie reviews? Do you have any suggestions for the
Damn it,
podcast?
Jim just wants to do a movie review. I can tell. He mentions it every
Make sure
time.
you leave a like if you were genuinely spooked by
Please-
this podcast.
Please share. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, share
like
the
Jim said.
video, subscribe, leave a comment.
Smash that skin button.
I was gonna try and not do the smash the like button. This
Good thing I didn't say like button.
the skin button.
Yeah.
That's just weird. But yeah,
Button made out of skin.
hope you all have we can even need a tagline.
Smash that skin button.
Everyone have a ghost-filled night.